The Torah is holy and divine, but it's also relevant and timely. And there's a great example in this week's Parsha Haazinu. It is Moses' last day on earth, Moses, the leader of the Jewish people, and he's sending off the Jewish people into the land of Israel with this beautiful poem in Haazinu. It starts off with him invoking the heavens and the earth. Of course, we remember the heavens and the earth from the very first line of the Torah. We're at the very, very end of the Torah. It sort of bookends the very, very beginning of the Torah. Bereshit bara Elokim et hashamayim ve'et haaretz. In the beginning, God created the heavens and the earth. And now Moshe is invoking the heavens and the earth. Why? Because the heavens and the earth are eternal. Moses is like, I'm dying today. If the Jewish people listen to me and they say, well, we didn't accept the covenant from Moses, the heavens and the earth bear witness. And what do the heavens and the earth do? The heavens and the earth have control over rain, and they have control over produce that grows in the ground. The heavens and the earth will take them to task. And we know that from a comment from Rabbi Shlomo Yitzchaki, the 11th century Torah commentator Rashi. Moses goes on to talk about, may the words that he's giving, with these words of Torah, come down like rain, like dew, like showers on new vegetation, like droplets on the grass. And this is reminiscent of something that maybe you've heard before, that we treat the Torah like water. We read Torah every 3 days because you can't survive 3 days without water. That the same water that comes down from the heavens, that water is a dandelion, that a human being has to drink, that a cow has to drink, that fills the seas, that fills the grass. All of this water is the same water, but each organism, each being that takes in the water uses it in a different way. It helps them grow in a different way. And that is what Torah is, that anyone can have a unique perspective that no one else in the world might have, because we're all different human beings. We're all taking in the same water, the same Torah, but it's making us grow, challenging us in different ways. Obviously, water imagery is important in everyone's lives, but it's particularly relevant for Moses. So, of course, we know that his mother Yocheved put him in the river Nile to protect him from the Egyptians. He met his wife Tzipporah at the well in Midian when he fled to the desert of Midian. His sister Miriam, we believe it was on her merit that the Jewish people had the well that followed them throughout the desert. And then, of course, the biggest one is that when Moses was asked to speak to the rock to deliver water to the Jewish people, he instead struck it, and the water still flowed, but this was, we say, one of the reasons that he wasn't able to enter the land of Israel. So something that's beautiful about this Parsha is that it's considered a song. We have in last week's Parsha this idea that you should write this song, teach it to your children. And what they're talking about, what the Torah is talking about, is this Parsha. These are the things that you should know. If you don't act nicely, this is what will happen. If you don't obey the mitzvot, this is what will happen. If you do obey the mitzvot, this is what will happen. Whatever. It's a sort of like warning to the Jewish people. And it's being taught as a song. Why? Because a song is more memorable. This is appealing to basic psychology. When you have different kinds of language delays or brain injuries that cause language delays, there are people who either can spew nonsense but can't communicate what they want to say, or people that are able to communicate in very broken ways. But that there's a different part of our brain that stores things like the song Twinkle Twinkle Little Star or the ABCs or anything like that. That songs are held in a different part of our brain than regular speeches. And I think it's just beautiful. Again, this appeals to natural modern psychology, but it was something that we're talking about in the Torah, I think. And then one final thing, we're in the highest holy days, Rosh Hashanah, Yom Kippur, these holidays between, then Sukkot is soon. We're in this very holy time of year. And as I maybe have spoken about before, this isn't about taking on more mitzvot or changing who we are. It's about peeling back the layers and going back to the basics. Going back to the basics like understanding that not everything is in our control. Rain is a perfect example, as we talked about earlier. Rain will only fall from the heavens if the Jewish people are acting nicely. That the ground will only respond nicely if the Jewish people are acting nicely. That there are things in our life that we have control over, and there are things in our life that we don't have control over. I think this message of sort of letting go and recognizing that there are things we don't have control over, the rain is a very good example. A farmer only has success if there is rain that year. It's not a punishment from God, but it's just a recognition that you can do as much preparation of the ground. You can plant the best seeds, have the best farming crew, but if there isn't rain from the heavens, you won't have a crop. At some point, we have to let go, and that's a little bit freeing, I think. Shana Tova.